Oh, there's my tea. I'll be right back. All right. Got some system updates to do. Let's get back in. So, easy enough. Let's get Audacity pulled up. And get back into the right file. Okay. That's kind of weird. So what we're going to do here is I want to check if the shift to hold drag is going to work out of the box with um, there we go, with our mag release. So let's try it. So if we can drag this, right? And that's great. That's what it should do. But if I hold shift, no, it doesn't work. Okay. I forget uh, what I have to do to change that, but it shouldn't be too tricky. Let's see. So we're doing it on the slide. On the slide. And there we go. Is dragged or held here. That might be the trick. Ah, they're not pressing the mouse. Mouse is not pressed, but it's staying in the held back position because I'm holding shift on the keyboard here. Right. And as soon as I release shift, right, Boom. Yeah. The mag release is going to snap back into place. Hold shift, release shift. Works. That's cool. Easy enough. So now I haven't programmed that for things like the trigger and the hammer. And yeah, it would be easy enough. It would be easy enough. We'll wait until I have a use case for it before I do that. Nice. Uh, mint black tea. Always a fan. Coaster going. Perfect. All right. So now, well, let's make so we're closer now to actually being able to insert and then remove a magazine, but we don't have that quite yet. Right? So right now, if we insert a magazine, see it snap in there, and we're missing a sound effect, but we'll get it. Right? Now, if I held the mag release back like that, and then dragging the magazine down, it should let me release or bring down the magazine. But it isn't, right? Because this. So we go to the mag release. Here we go. Over here. Actually, let's just use this as the threshold. Hmm. Now, this is interesting. So, I wonder how this is gonna work. Ooh, may have broken it. If we get it with the output here. So because latched is true, I think I've boogered it. Um, ah, let's move this to the process function. I think that'll do it. Okay. I might have to think through that logic a little bit more. I don't think that's quite right, but click. Now it's not coming out of there because it's latched. Ah, that's cool. Now it's stuck. That works. That works. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a scenario under which that logic doesn't work. It seems to work right now. Seems okay to me. Cool. Um, we need to make a sound effect. That'll make this sound much nicer. I thought I opened Audacity, but apparently not. All right, I also can't get my system updates. Come on now. Give it another go. And let's get Audacity open. There we go. Got a new version of Blender. Well, that's nice. And I think I told it to open Audacity, so I'm just going to give it a second and see if it'll open for us, huh? Well, third time's the charm. Now it's open. I don't know what that was about, but here we go. All right, so the sound effect that we need is the uh, magazine release. Maybe we have a sound effect for the magazine release opening. Uh, but we definitely want the sound of the magazine release clicking shut into the magazine. So let's record that real quick. check out this one right here. Let's grab a noise profile real quick. That mouse's scroll wheel is broken, so this one is a little less easy to game with because it's a little heavier, but it has a working scroll wheel. So let's switch to this one for a second. Yeah, I think that's okay. I might make it quieter a little bit. Yeah, that seems good. Let's export the, let's go mix down to mono because we want it to be mono anyway. Export, and then I always do this wrong. We want selected audio. And then we want this to go Makarov sound. Yep, and this is going to be uh, cool. And then, well, we can, let's, while we're here, let's do a few others. Clear? All right, so now, this is not a heel mag release, right? Which would be apropos to regular button. It's an all metal gun, and other pistols I have are polymer, which would be quite as close to the sound that we're looking for. So this will have to do for now. And if we ever get a heel release pistol, then I can update these sound effects. I go with this for now. Call that a good start. So, do I mean, the noise profile is probably the same, right? And this is funny because we've got kind of the opposite problem. This is quite a faint little sound. Yeah, that works. So let's go again. Let's go mix down to mono. Amplify it a little bit more, even. That probably works. Export selected as, let's say, now there's actually going to be a little different sound effect. And when you pull on that heel mag release, it should actually kick the magazine out a little bit. Uh, I muted myself on accident there saying, but what I meant to say was it'll actually cut the magazine out if it's under spring tension, right? So, uh, we don't have to go hog wild with this, but, and we could get really fancy, you know, say, hey, magazine is full, it's going to bounce out further. Magazine is empty, it's not going to kick out at all. We don't have to get too into those weeds just yet. We can add that sort of thing. Although it would be pretty simple. Yeah, that's okay. Need to on the canvas. We focus in too narrow. But I do want to get the sound of this picking out when, say, which we've got the latch sound, we don't have the release sound. So let's get that. right there is the sound we want. I actually might have not had the microphone all the way straightened, so that might have affected my. Uh, that's all right. I'm gonna keep it. Let's re-record it. Make sure this is all the way forward, otherwise it matches the. Um, Actually, I think the issue is just it's a lot quieter than I'm expecting because uh it's a quieter sound than the latching sound, so that's fine. Uh, yeah, that's the right sound. We can amplify it a little bit, too much. And let's see, let's go stereo to mono, and let's export that. Export selected audio, and let's go magazine, unlatch, snap. Cool. All right, that should do it. All right. All right, so just kind of fiddling around with the sounds here. So it's not playing the sound when you release it and it snaps closed, and that is in this block of code right here, where it's just springing it back when you're not dragging it. Um, and that should do it, I think. Sounds right, yeah? That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, and you could say we could add a little tag right here. So like this. Um, so every time you take a mag in and out, we get that little snap sound of the mag catch coming closed again. That sounds alright to me. That almost works all in by itself. That's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Because here's another way it could work, right? If you press the magazine release, right? Press the magazine release button, or you in this case you hit the heel release, right? What's gonna happen is the magazine's gonna come a little bit out, right? See that? And now even if I let go of this, I can just come up here and pull it out, right? So you don't need to use two hands, right? Is what I'm saying. I could only use one hand. I could go press and pull. So by extension, right, the user shouldn't need to use the shift button on the keyboard to like two-hand it and hold that heel release back and pull. If they pull that heel release back, it should kick that mag out a little bit, especially if the magazine is full. And maybe we program that in for a little extra depth. Hmm. Sure. So, and we should play an extra sound when it snaps closed like that. And we recorded the sound, so let's get that sound going here. So let's go duplicate. We could kind of get into the weeds here a little bit, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this does sound kind of fun. So, um, right. How do we make this logic not get super messy, though? I think we can do it. I think we can do it. So this is going to be let's see. The one option is we just play both sounds at the same time. And that might sound fine, and that might be really simple, right? Uh, and that would go in this spot here. So we go make unique and load, and we go game gun, Makarov, sounds, and we're gonna go mag release. Oh, I went into the wrong one, not Makarov. Here we go. Magazine release, latch snap. All right. And that would go right in here. And that should just work. Let's try it. We're gonna get both sound effects playing over each other, but I think that's gonna be okay. Let's listen. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's not my favorite sound effect. It's not bad. The other thing that we definitely can program here is magazine should be harder to press in. So here's an example, right? Right now with this gun, this magazine is full, right? Don't tell YouTube. Um, and if I chamber's empty though again, it's good to be safe. Good to be safe. Okay. So if we press this magazine in, right, it's gonna take a lot of force. It's gonna take a lot of force to seat this magazine. I can't do it with one finger, right? Okay, there we go. Whereas, if we unload it, right? Right, so we're unloaded. And then we go to insert it, it's gonna be super easy, right? Nothing to it. It takes just like the smallest little bit of effort. Super easy. Um, because obviously it's resisting all of these cartridges pressing it back in, you know? Uh, and that's really true, is that it's going to be a lot easier to insert the magazine when the magazine is empty. So, uh, did I already program that? Well, okay. What we did already program was this part, loading the magazine, because this is true as well. As you load the rounds, put you down here so you can hear ASMR. Well, I think my filter is probably clipping it out, so you're probably not getting much unless I'm talking at the same time. That's okay. Should be. So, right. I was remembering that we had already programmed something like this, and we did for the for this part, if we're filling up the magazine, right? That's really easy on the first one, but the amount of mouse travel it requires as we go here gets more and more. And it's harder to put the last rounds in, and that's full. And compare that to putting the first one in here. Putting the last one in there, it just takes a lot further on the mouse pad to move it to push in that last round. Which is pretty cool. That's not my favorite sound effect. I think I might re-record that some other way. I feel like it should be more of like a snap. But I mean, we literally recorded it off a real firearm, so whatever. Um, yeah, that's fine. It's fine. So, anyway, I think maybe part of the problem is like it was clipping, you know, because it's such a loud noise actually. Um, I don't remember if I actually de-amplified it. Hmm. We can revisit that. I could even just turn up the volume on it if I want it. Volume, turn it up a little bit. But yeah, we'll fiddle with that more. Um, but there's going to be an analogous effect where you're inserting the magazine, and it's going to take a lot more force if the magazine is full. So we can really simply program that up here. Right here. Now let's see. I'm dragged moving 1D. That's how we did it. Okay. Then the gun is going to listen for that event on magazine drag 1D. Right. And we have the magazine instance. And this is going to be important. Right. So for the first portion of the travel, right? Why am I pantomiming when I have the real thing in front of me? Um, the magazine's full, right? But this this part of the motion is just as easy whether the magazine is empty or full, right? It doesn't matter. But it matters once it gets to the very top and it actually is the cartridge is bumping into the bottom of the slide and you have to compress it up against the slide. I have to compress that last round, right? Down in there so that it can fit and click into place, right? And that last little bit, while it's actually inside there, right? That's easy. That's hard, right? That last little bit is the hard part. So, how are we gonna evaluate that? Right here, we've got this magazine insert progress. So we're actually gonna reuse this mathematical value here real quick. So, let's go. Do we say var in GDScript? Yeah, I do a lot of PHP and Python at work, so I have to remind myself which language I'm typing in. All right, uh, progress. Uh, well, we can just say percent inserted. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. And let's actually this bit up above here because we're going to need that information. We're going to need that information down here. So, let's make a var and we'll just call it resistance equals 1, right? And then percent travel times resistance times the slider length, okay? And then we'll say if percent inserted is greater than 0. Let's say 0.85. Uh, 1 plus, and then let's say magazine dot, and then how do we find out how many cartridges are in the magazine? Let's see. Now, actually, we want the resistance number to be less than 1, right? Because if it's less than 1, right. Now, we could say 1 over resistance. That works too. Or we could say percent travel divided by resistance. That's pretty easy. Both of those work. And so right, so if there's 0 cartridges, right, if it's an empty magazine, it's still going to get a little harder because this is going to be 0, so it's going to be 1.5. So you're going to notice it a little bit, but it's not going to be huge, right? First of all, let's just see if this works. I didn't notice any difference. No. So let's bump it up. Let's say it's 2, even if there's no magazine. You mean no cartridges? Okay, maybe I can tell a little bit. Let's put some cartridges in there and see if I can tell the difference. Yes. Now the threshold is a little too high. Okay. So let's say 2. Let's say it starts at 3. But let's say the cutoff is much shorter. It's like 92 maybe. 93, 92. Let's give that a shot. Okay. So you should notice it a tiny bit. Hmm. I don't think it's a big enough effect. I don't think it's a big enough effect. So let's remove this divider. Maybe we start it at 5, and then we increase this number to 5. Okay. What if we change the snap threshold as well? Right now it snaps closed uh, after 97% closure. What if we did that 99? Oh, it's not latching. It's not playing this sound. Interesting. Hmm. Oh, well, here. It's because I need to make this a constant. Um, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to use the value in more than one spot. I should have a variable name. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Right. See, there's a lot of mouse travel going on here, right? You can't really see that, I guess, on my mouse pad. Now, there's one more interesting thing here. That is, if the slide is open, that should be completely negated. So just a thought. We'll do that next. Okay, I could tell that. I could feel the difference there. That was good. Okay, that's as full as it can go. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Yeah, that's getting closer. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Yeah, I mean, I could see it being even bigger, really. even larger resistance value. Um, like, let's try this, just for the hell of it. This is probably pretty boring to watch because it probably doesn't. The other thing we can do, though, the other thing we do is that does this slide keep track of if it's locked back or not, or does this slide stop? Um, there's a better way to do this. We have it, percent open, right here. Yeah. Uh, well, so if, here we go. This is gonna be kind of cool. Okay. That sound effect is growing on me. I'm not upset with it. Okay. Okay. See the resistance. You can see the resistance. So now here's the idea. We lock the slide back. There should be 0 resistance now. No, there's still resistance. There's still resistance. And there's another point is the resistance is also applying on the way out, and that's not good either. Okay. So it's oh, this is probably 0 based, huh? That's a good point. I'm smart. Okay. Duh. All right. Oops. See the resistance. Oops. Well, that should have chambered around, but we haven't done that yet, so we haven't programmed that. No resistance. No resistance. You can tell the difference. Hugely. Okay, that's an interesting scenario that we shouldn't have happen. Much more resistance. I kind of want to increase this threshold. Let's do 6. Let's do 6. Uh, let's try that. Let's try that. Okay. Okay. Um, all right. Cool. So then the last thing I want to try here. Did I start the wrong scene? I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, okay. Okay. So no, I don't like that. Let's go back to 95. Okay. Missed it. That's cool. So you can tell there's a little bit of like aim involved with loading the magazine, which is pretty neat. You can tell. You can tell the pressure is required there. That's feelable. That's the other thing we should fix, is that resistance should only be in the up direction, not in the down direction. Okay, so let's say we only hold it partial the way open, right? Okay. That's fully back. That's fully forward. Say we hold it just like right here. Okay. That's no good. That was without resistance. What we really need to do is print the slide percent open at various positions, yeah. Show you the debug. There you go. Righto. So that should be enough, right? Oh, well it didn't print it there. Okay. The slide is closed right now. That's fine. Oh, sure. Well, so Sure. So actually, sure. Oh, it is 100 based. Okay. Okay. I'm just kind of curious what the value is. What's the cutoff value if it's actually held by the slide stop? Which, if I asked it that way, there's probably easier ways for me to get that number, huh? It's 93. So 95 was not working, that's why. Okay. Easy. Um, there's a problem here, though, and it's that I'm misusing the word percent in a couple places here. Um, we should keep it consistent. Right. And then if we look at the magazine release, that should all work still. Let's see. Just to keep our variable names consistent. Seems good. Yep, that's all working. Cool. No resistance, right? Forget that it was supposed to strip around. Don't worry about that for now. Right? There is resistance. See how it's hard to insert it that last bit of the way? Yeah, that's cool. Um, right. Now we could change it to behave a different way, such that it actually just stops moving unless the motion is over a certain threshold. I think this way is fine. I think this way is fine. Um, Yeah. So there's another consideration too. We don't want to get too deep in the weeds here. But if I'm trying to press this in, I'm trying to press this in, right? And there's a lot of spring force on there, right? So if I press it in partially, but then I release it, it's going to actually bounce back out. That. Oh, and there I got it to latch, right? So unlatch. There it goes. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Um, yeah, it's not a big deal. It might be cleaner to code it that way though, for the part I'm about to do. So I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Um, but yeah, anyhow, that's enough fiddling with that, I think. But the one piece that we do need to do still is uh here there should only be resistance in the in direction. So right. So what that should mean is there shouldn't be any resistance in the down direction, in the removal direction. You could actually say it should be a negative resistance in the down direction, right? Okay. That feels good. That feels good. Now, if I do that, it should pop out a little bit. How do we want to code that? Well, the mag release could emit a signal, and really that's going to be the easiest, right? Because here, in this bit here, if frickin' PHP, um, well, and here's a point. Here's a point. This maybe should be handled up here. No, no, no. This should be handled down here. Um, well, it's just um, emit a signal, and the signal will basically be our comment. Okay. And we can play the sound. Okay. And we're gonna need to bring in the sound first. So duplicate. go load. Oh, make unique first. Otherwise it'll modify the other one. Gun, Makarov, sound, magazine, unlatch snap. Oh, that's right too. I was like, man, that snap close sound sounds a lot better now. I raised the volume, right? I raised the volume and then I forgot about that. I was like, gosh, this sound is growing on me. It sounds way better now. It's because I raised the volume. Okay. Anyway, I forgot I did that. That's funny. What did I do last there? Oh, here we go. Yep. Play the sound. Mag release, unlatch snap, not play. Right. And that we don't have to add an additional flag here, because the logic of the magazine in general is a natural toggle. So that sound effect will only play once, until they reinsert the magazine, and there's no way they could do that rapidly enough to make that sound loop more than it should loop. If they're really smashing that magazine in and out and in and out and in and out, it should play the sound rapidly, although I can't imagine how someone would do that. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, what are we doing now? In here, we need to listen to that signal. So if we go here, and we go here, and we go here, and we go here. All right. On mag release, magazine unlatched snap. And we might change the name of this to just on magazine unlatched snap. Let's go connect. So what's going to happen here is it's going to kick the magazine out a little bit. Now that's only going to work if the slide is closed. So we're actually going to take the now the maximum, yeah. And then how far should it come out, do you think? Like, let's say like 10 millimeter, like a centimeter, right? Sure, let's do a centimeter to start with. Or 2 centimeters, maybe. Now hang on, inserted magazine. Yeah. And then I was thinking something else. Oh, we need to do update magazine Z. Yep. Cool. And, we can run this too. And we could make this a function as well, but I don't care quite so much, so we'll just send it. So let's see how this looks. So here's the thought, right? Snap it in. Now we hit the magazine release, right? That's pretty cool. You see that? That sounds good. Now, You have this slide locked open. Can you try that? It's not going to drop free like that. Now, here's the other thing we can do. We can change this to 1 plus Okay. And what this is going to do is the more rounds you have in there, the more violently it's going to pop out. Right? And this is as far down this rabbit hole as I'm going to go, and then let's leave it be. Okay? It just pops out a little bit when it's like that, but if we fill it up, okay, that's full. It's really in there tight. Okay, we went the wrong direction. We went the wrong direction. Minus. There we go. Oops. Oops. That made an interesting combination of sound effects as well when it went in there. Oh boy. Okay. Just like smash it back up in there. Okay. So, again, pops out a little bit. Okay. Not a lot, but it pops out further if it's got more rounds in there. That's subtle, but nice. So, there, if you release it, really it should push back out, right? We'll fiddle with that more later if we really want. Right, but see how much that one pops out versus this one's gonna pop out less? Because it's not as full. I think that's subtle but nice. And finally, if the magazine is or the slide is locked back, it's not going to kick out at all. And you have to grab it out. I think that's dandy. That's nice. Love it. Love it. That's so good. All right. All right. Let's call it good. That's a good stop spot here, I think. You can hear actually how amplified that sound is, and I don't think it should be that loud. So mag release open, no tension. Let's actually quiet this down quite a bit. Let's go down by like, how about 4 decibels? Oops. Okay, touche. still too loud. Well, that's okay. I didn't notice it really, so I don't think I don't think that decibel switcher is making the effect I think it is. It is there though, maybe. Hmm. Oh, that's the one. That's the one. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. It shouldn't play that sound, except in this case. It shouldn't play in that instance. It shouldn't play in that instance. Yeah, there's an error in the logic there. Here. Right. So the issue here is we only want this to play if there's actually a magazine present. See. Right. And maybe that's what we can change the latched variable to be. But hang on, let's think about this. Where am I using the latched? Okay. Okay. Do we need this? Well, because it let's what if we make another variable? This gets a little confusing. But there's interesting edge cases here where if the slide is open, right? Slide is open and then you hit the mag release, right? It stays in there, right? It doesn't get kicked out. So I think we do need another flag. I do think we need another flag here. We've made this a little tricky on ourselves, but that's okay. Right. Now, this raises the question, can we get rid of this variable? Right? Do we really need the latched variable, or could we combine it with the magazine fully inserted? Right? I think this is fine, and I think it works. It's a little tricky, right? Because the latched variable is just saying, is the latch blocking the magazine from coming out, right? Um, and that's needed because it's used by other places to see if I first of all, let's make sure this works. But I think I can simplify the code. I think this is a little confusing, and I don't think it has to be confusing. Now, we got a couple other problems here. Um, these. Okay. This shouldn't be closed Z. This should be uh, effective closed. Yeah, that's the trick there, I think. There we go, I think. Hey, that's good, but then why is it playing here? That's kind of interesting. Why would that happen? So this should say closed plate is equal to true. Oh. This shouldn't happen, I don't think. That might be the trick. This gets very complicated very quickly. And we can just kind of get it by trial and error, I suppose. Then we don't get the sound when the magazine is removed. Might this work? Yeah? That's good enough for me, I would say. It's not perfect, but... Yeah, that's pretty good. I forget. There's something else I wanted to fix. I've forgotten now. I've forgotten. Uh, Probably not important, right? We'll figure it out again if it is. Hmm. We still get the double click there. Do I care that much? Maybe. Oh, yeah. It shouldn't play that sound either. Okay, so let's live with the double click for a second. We can fix that in a minute if we really want to. Um, right. Because it's really, uh, here would be an easy solution to the double sound problem. Right. And now we should always get one click and exactly one click. Hey, kitty cat. Uh-oh. One click and only one click. That's pretty elegant and simple. So, excuse me, cat. Uh, then the second problem is if the slide, let's just reproduce the problem. Yo, hey. No, you're good. No, not at all. I'm just talking to myself, reading some code. Good. No, I would say do it. I mean, it's nothing fancy. We've got it there to drink. I would have some too if you opened it. Maybe. Is that like clay tablets and Babylon and all that stuff? That's the problem. Right. Sure. I do like a quarter of one of those or a half maybe. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Da-da-da. Just showing it to roommate, which is cool. Uh, and we were just chatting, so that's a good plan. So anyhow, the last remaining small little bug here is if we've got the slide open, this is very like specific, right? But we've got the slide open, click it in place. Ah. See that? Shouldn't do that. And what it's doing is it's playing the kick it out sound, but it shouldn't kick it out because, hey, kitty cat. Yeah. Um, the slide is open. Now, how do we fix that? Um, well, we could just give the mag release a pointer to the slide, which should be easy enough. Um, so let's see, here's the mag release. And we do that for other stuff too. Um, like this. And then on gun ready, right here. Yeah. And then here we can say, right, now, there's a better answer here. Which would be to say, let's not do that. But instead, we play the sound from in here. And that works. And that's not so bad. Oh, we don't need the debug window open right now either, do we? All right. Okay, so that still works. Right? And those sound effects are correct, given what's happening. Now, we could also, if we really want to go into the weeds, and we're right here, and it would take me 2 seconds. We're already deep in the weeds, so let's be honest. It should not play the loud snap effect. It's still fine. It's still snapping shut. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's fine. Oh, that's right. So I was saying, can we remove this latched? Can we remove this magazine fully inserted variable and replace it with the latched variable? And get rid of the latched variable. Where are we reading from the latched variable? Well, right. We're reading from it in the gun to determine whether or not you can yank the magazine out or not, right? That's fair. But where else are we reading from it? Right here. Okay, hang on, let's go look from the top. to the bottom. This is the only spot. This is the drag motion. And what's the purpose of this if block? Right. See what I'm saying? Right. Right. I think if we can simplify it and we can make these two variables the same variable. Magazine fully inserted and latched, which is to say we only set latched to true if there's a magazine fully inserted. That's it. Right. Is that a problem? Well, it is and it isn't, because if we've got the slide back, we've got the slide open. Again, I'm pantomiming for no reason. We've got the slide open, right? You press the mag release. Latched is now false, right? But the mag release, unless we give it a reference to the magazine or something, it doesn't any longer know that it has a magazine still in here. See? So then when you release it again, how does it know to set itself to latched? I think we leave it like it is. Like it is works. It works the way it is. Let's not touch it. It's fine. It makes sense in that context for there to be those two different flags. So I think it is what it is. Cool. All right. It's done. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Rock on. It feels so weird. That doesn't feel like 2 hours, but it was 2 hours. Cruising.